he knows when I've had a bad day with my mom, and he just comes and gives me a big hug, and he makes everything better. And he deserves the same care and love that I give my mom. And I have to be able to put aside my mom and devote that time and energy into my husband, into my son. And then there's me. I'm not always great at it. I do love a facial. I do love getting my face done. Or I've always been a shopper. Even if that means I get to walk around the mall and look in all the windows and dream and maybe try on a pair of shoes, but maybe I don't get to buy them. We're squeezed between these two generations. Hi everyone, I'm Lexie Callies. Do you feel the squeeze of caring for an elderly loved one and school-aged children? Then welcome to the Sandwich Stories. Let's dig in. Hiya, I'm Lexie Callies. I am sandwiched. Do you know what that means? Being sandwiched is taking care of an elderly loved one, taking care of school-aged children, being a wife, and holding your own at the same time. I'm sandwiched. I'm squeezed, and you could put a little olive spear right into my sandwich. Ooh, I do love olives. They're delicious. Anyway, but my mother is 73. She has a degenerative disease. I've been taking care of her for 4 years now, but I also have, like I said, a child and a husband and a home to have at the same time. And I'm just squeezed. We're going to talk about everything when it comes to being part of the sandwich generation. This is Sandwich Stories. We're going to talk about how to advocate for your loved one, how to advocate for your child, how to make time for yourself, make time for your spouse, how to reconnect, estate planning. We're going to talk about the nitty-gritty when it comes to traveling with a loved one who is elderly and has degenerative disease or any disease of any sort, what that looks like to go to the hospital, what it looks like to go to the doctor and advocate for them, make sure that their medications are right, how to choose the right assisted living or in-home health, whichever works best for you. That is being sandwiched. I know it's hard. I've been here, like I said, for 4 years. I've been doing this. I know how hard it is. And sometimes you expect it, you know it's coming, and you can prepare for it. And other times it's just thrusted upon you. And then you're in the deep end and you don't know what to do. So let's work it out together. Let's make sure that we can help each other, that we can support one another, that we can laugh at things, we can cry with things, and we're going to have fun. I've got great stories when it comes to my mother and my child and my husband and stupid stuff I've done and learned and things that I can share with you that I know I can be vulnerable with. Bad decisions. I've looked back and I was like, why did I make that decision? Man, that was really tough. Why did I do that? And how do I fix it? How do I make it better? How do I make myself feel better? How do I let go of guilt? How do I apologize because I lost my temper with my mother, or I lost my temper with my husband and it had nothing to do with him or anything else going on? And we're just going to do it all. Being sandwiched has taught me so much. I have had to really look inside myself and how to give myself grace, which I'm not always the best at. I really am not. I strive so hard to be the best for my mother and to make sure she has the best, because that is what she has worked so hard in her life and she deserves it. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. And if you need help about what to do, how much do things cost? Man, let's talk about money. That's going to be a fun one. We will definitely be talking about assisted living cost and in-home health cost. You have long-term health care insurance. You have the finances to care for your loved one. Do they have the finances to help pitch in and care for themselves? Or is this person going to have to move in with you? My mother has not moved in with me. She's on her second assisted living facility. This one we just moved into 3 weeks ago, and it's a whole new ball game. And I'm learning as I go. So I hope that I can help you along the way by just relaying what I am learning every single day. So yes, my son is 12. He's Shelby. He's the light of my life. He makes me laugh every day. He's a good boy. He's smart. He's funny. He's handsome, if I do say so myself. He knows when I've had a bad day with my mom, and he just comes and gives me a big hug, and he makes everything better. And he deserves the same care and love that I give my mom. And I have to be able to put aside my mom and devote that time and energy into my husband, into my son, and then there's me. I'm not always great at it. I do love a facial. I do love getting my face done. So when I need time to myself, I try to get in that facial. Or I've always been a shopper. Even if that means I get to walk around the mall and look in all the windows and dream and maybe try on a pair of shoes, but maybe I don't get to buy them. But it makes me feel better, and it makes me get to live in a fantasy land just for a little bit and get away from reality. I hope we can help find those things for you too, because you need to live in a fantasy land. Sometimes reality is just a little harsh, and you just need that little bit of distraction. And I hope we'll have a good time doing it. I love music. I am not always the best at knowing who sings what, but I love all genres of music, and I can attribute that to my dad. My dad was an audiophile. I have all his records, even to this day, every single one he ever owned. And I grew up listening to everything from 50s doo-wop, 60s rock and roll, 70s country and disco, 80s new wave. I even remember when I was in the late 90s and my dad came up to me and he was like, "Hey, do you know this group, Crystal Method?" And I was like, "What? What are you talking about? How do you know who they are?" He was always up to date on everything, and I loved him for it. And I hope we can maybe have some fun with music also, and be able to share some of those fun memories. And but yeah, so that's who I am. That's what we're going to talk about. And I hope you get to have uh, fun on this journey with me and learn some things, make your life easy, and maybe we can dig in. Like I said, we're sandwiched, we're squeezed between these two generations. And like I said, just put a little olive spear right into that sandwich, and it just makes all the better. So let's have some fun. Thank you so much for listening to Sandwich Stories. I really hope you learned some new things and enjoyed it. If you did, tell a friend, tell your mom, tell your sister, tell your dad, tell everybody you know to also listen. Maybe they'll learn some new things, how to help each other out, and find us at Sandwich Stories Podcast. Thanks so much.